Hello again. So today I thought I would give you a quick little look at the January garden. Now I didn't do a checkup in December. Yeah, I did one in November. I don't think I did one in December. I did a lot of camping in December. I still have 2 more videos to post, and I haven't decided if I'm going to post them on my plant channel. I don't know if that annoys people, but anyway. Oh, you know what? Look what I missed. Look at this pot. That is filled with weeds. Wow, I need to get after that one. So, my last video, I showed you all the weeds that were growing. It looked like ground cover, all growing down in between here. And as you can see, they are all gone. I finally got after those weeds. My shelf, let me get over here. You know what? There's still some that I've missed, little ones, but it's hard to see them. I get so much, I don't know, algae, just green. As you can see over here. Okay, that's nice, pretty Sonoma gold. Over here, well, I've kind of stirred it up a little bit, but you can see how the rock is like more of a greenish tint. A few more little weeds that I missed. Because it doesn't really get much sun back here this time of year. The sun comes up there and goes across that way. So everything over here is just kind of cold. Plants are doing okay. Some of them look really good. Some are suffering a bit from the cold. Now this year, it hasn't been nearly as cold as it was last year and the year before. We've only had a couple days where it hit 32 degrees. I think tonight it's supposed to be 31. Last night it only got down to 36. So I haven't really covered anything. I did move a couple of my euphorbias down under. That one barely fits. It fit much better last year. I've tucked a few back against the wall so they get a little more protection. And I did move a lot in the house. Obviously this bud is just kind of rotting. It never did open. I'm a little out of breath today because I just finished doing a bunch of pruning and stuff out here. Been very thankful for the weather because I was really worried about this euphorbia. Now today is January 7th. It's Sunday. And it's about noon. Yeah, it's just 5 minutes to 12. So it's cold. It's, let's see. What's the temperature? No, it says 44, but I think it's, okay, yeah, it's 44. But I'm in a t-shirt because to me, 44 is warm when it's sunny. I love it. I love the cold weather. So what I've done is I've pulled some rotted leaves and a few dead plants out. I have lost a couple to the cold, although it's not freezing. So this guy, okay, right there, that one has got a lot of just dead leaves. And I pulled a bunch of them out and they were just so gross and slimy. So I just need to get in there and really get some more off of that because I don't want the whole plant to rot. And I want those slimy leaves out of there. My blue glow looks amazing. It's glowing this morning. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It had a pup. Where's your little pup? Oh, you know what? I think these outer leaves have just grown so much they're covering that little pup up under there. So that plant will get pretty big, but not for a few years. Oh, look at this. This is rotting. I need to cut that section off. I just now noticed that. And I actually pulled a couple weeds out of here and didn't even notice that. But that arm needs to go. And we've gotten some rain. So that pot may not be draining very good because you can see it's kind of set down in the rocks. We had 1/4 inch of rain yesterday. And we've been so this year, I mean, last year was horrible. We got so much rain, so much freezing cold weather, a ton of wind, and you know, it was just miserable, gray, gloomy. And this year we haven't gotten much rain, you know, and what we have got has been pretty sporadic. You know, we've had plenty of time for the water to run off, so no flooding. I'm a little concerned. Yeah, that mammillaria looks pretty dark. I hope it's not dying, because I have had that for probably 30 years. It started out as one little plant, and then it split to 2, and then to 4, and now it's splitting. Each one of those is splitting. It'll be 8. So here's another one that didn't make it. It died. Right there. But that was dying off before it even got cold. Now, a lot of my sempervivums bloomed out last year. And so all the pups around them are doing good. Ooh, I missed a weed. Look back in there. Sneaky little devils. Those ghosties are just amazing. They are just ghosting like crazy. I have taken quite a few off of this shelf, and a couple I moved inside. So I'm watching these. Last year, I believe 2 or 3 of these little barrels, let us come closer, they rotted from the rain. So far they're doing pretty good this year. I do have a bunch of clover around that one, but I just can't get it to pull out. And that plant is so sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little Roundup, and I'm going to very carefully spray those outer leaves and see if I can't just kill that plant off. All these guys are filling in. So last year I lost, this is a, what is that? Oh, I forget what it's called. It's not the Lucier. I believe it's a Kalanchoe, but I forget the kind. Last year it died back to a nub because it was so cold. And this year it's doing good. And over here, nothing much to look at. So these guys have taken off. So I'm going to take, in the spring, I'm going to pull this aloe. This is a Starry Night. But you can see, my walkway is gone. I used to have a little path that led right up through here so I could get to the shelf. And then this is Agavoides, and it's just gotten huge. I planted 2 of these and that one. And then I planted under here 2 Echeveria Neon Breakers. And they struggled. They really struggled. Oh, and I can see there's 3 now. So one of them had a little pup. It's kind of split. Yeah, so maybe they'll do better next year. This stuff is all looking good. I did prune some of these flower stalks off of this. God, what is this called? It's not the Harmsii. It's not the Ruby Slippers. It's the one that starts with a P. I forget, but it's that velvety and gets really red in the summer. My Portulacaria Afra Variegata last year kind of died back to nubs. I had a few small ones because it does not handle the cold, and it's doing really good this year. So I'm hoping, it's just January, I'm hoping that we don't get hit with a cold, really cold, whatever. This thing is really taken off. My Cameronii is happy, but I did notice yesterday the tips are starting to suffer from the cold, I think. That Millii died back down to nothing last year, and I thought it was dead. It took all summer to come back, and so it's still doing really good. And those 4 sticks sticking up, that was a really cool Aluaudia procera, and it died. I held out hope for the longest time that the leaves hadn't come back, but it's dead. And then I did notice on here, this is my my blue. It is got, look at that little bit of rot starting. So last year the tip rotted, and I cut it off, and it grew these 2 new arms. So that one's rotting. So I might just pull that out and get rid of it. It's just too cold here for this one. So, but these 2 are doing good. Everything back here, my blue barrel looks really good. Everything's draining good. This pot, my little Navajo princess, looks really cute. There. That's how pretty that is. The string of pearls hanging off the back side is down onto the ground. So clearly it's happy. My, oh gosh, what do you call these? I go through this all the time. It's Tradescantia. Two different ones. They are just not doing well. Next year I'm going to find a shady spot for them, and I'm going to move them. I did tuck a couple plants back up under here because the wind was blowing them everywhere. They were hanging on my dragon fruit, whatever you call it, stands. All these guys are doing good. They do need a little bit of TLC, but they're not really getting much sun under here. I have my umbrella up because I do have that leaky, cracked thing there, and so these guys are doing really good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with. So let's see that. Okay, that one. Those are the Mexican fence posts. That one's gotten kind of dark, and I noticed it in the summer. It was getting dark, so I'm not sure if I'm going to lose that one or not. Down in here, you know what? That one is the Lavender Lady. This is the Navajo Princess right here. And it's actually doing good too. It's trying to, poor thing's trying to grow around this Echeveria. Everything in this pot did really, really good. And look at the top of this thing. It's got flowers, so I don't know if any of them are going to open. I need to cut that way back. That started as one little teeny tiny piece, and it's just taken over the side of the pot. It's kind of cool. My Japanese maple lost all its leaves, but it's not dead. It'll bud back out, so I'll be happy when it warms up and we get some buds back on that. Here, I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like we're getting maybe some fungus or something going on there. These are my Fred Ives. I better check on that. The Sansevieria looks okay. There's a couple that are not happy about the cold. You see some damage on the sides, but hopefully the inner part of the plant will be good, and then, you know, I can cut away what doesn't make it through the winter. These little guys all look good. The aloes, most of the aloes, especially the blue elf, are flowering. So this one's already open. It's almost done, but this one over in this pot is just starting. So that's cool. I still haven't done anything. I'll just wait till spring. I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff. I still love how this, you can never get, maybe if I get some shade over it, the color of this is just absolutely stunning. It looks so washed out on film, but it looks really good. Oh no, look at my coin plant. That is damage from the cold. I don't know if this is going to make it here. Well, you know what it's like at my house. It's sink or swim. You got to be strong if you want to survive here, because I just don't have a place to move stuff. And so the stuff that dies, I typically don't replace with the same thing. I did move my totem cactus in here because you can see that. That's where it split last year because this pot wasn't draining, and we got so much rain last year. I moved my string of pearls all over here. They're doing good. Everybody over here. So my booby cactus, I looked them up, and it said that they were good down to like, I don't know, colder than what it gets here a little bit. But I still see some frost damage to them. This stuff in here I just completely forget about. I did water a couple things, like I watered this. Oh, here's something that's funny. Remember that flower bud? It opened. Look at that. So this poor thing's hanging on. Hopefully it'll survive the winter, and in the spring it'll fill back out and I won't have to buy a new one. But this does not look good. I think it needs fertilizer, but it's got a ton of buds on it. It's going to flower like crazy. And all my little starts that I have in the house in the windowsill they're all doing really good, and they've all flowered. So they're all rooted, those little starts that I got. And I did move that over here because it was sitting in the bottom of the pot with the dragon fruit, the stand. You better leave her alone. And it was getting brought into the garage at night, and it doesn't need to, so I just took it out because I've been bringing my dragon fruit in at night. Look how cool this thing is. It doesn't seem to mind the cold weather. It's still blooming. That's such a pretty dark purple. It doesn't show up on camera, but it's got a ton of blooms. So over here, excuse me, it's kind of funny. Most of the weeds I pulled over here were poppies coming back up. They were everywhere, and if I left them, it would have just been a huge hedge of poppies, which, could be cool, but I don't want that over here. And I think maybe next year I might put some poppies in pots over there and then just let them do their thing and see if they seed themselves out there. And I'll start them in pots so that the dogs don't, trample them or whatever. And then as they come up on their own, we'll just see what happens. So my seed dragon, it's doing, looks good on top. It's got a lot of dead kind of underneath, but, that's normal. But check out you cannot see, it's hard to get down in here. You can't see the actual size of these leaves, but look at next to my hand. Can you see how big these are? This is my purple shamrock. Oh, I'm so congested. Pardon me if I'm sniffling. I started them out in here, and then that piece down under there just kind of found its way under there. But my ornamental kale, they're struggling because of these worms. And I still haven't sprayed anything. I just hate to use chemicals. And so I've just been picking the worms off as I find them. I did find 3 big ones today. I was like, oh, what is that noise? It's really windy today. My palm tree's blowing. Yeah, you get that wind chill too. It's really cool. But look at the damage that these little worms are doing to my plants. I don't know. I just don't know. They like the white ones better, but I just keep after the worms as I find them. So last year, because of the cold, I had the same agave rum runner, and it did not make it. It made it. It's still alive. It's out in the greenhouse, but it was a tiny little scraggly looking thing that I pulled up and replaced with a new one. I never find these up here. I actually had to get that down in San Diego. And I believe I got it at, did I get it at Oasis or did I get it at, I think I did get it at Oasis Botanical Gardens. I don't think I got it at Waterwise. I have finally cut off all the flower stalks of all these poor plants. This sticky is doing really good. I see I have look at this. Another crack here. It's all rusted. I need to fix that because that is dripping right down in here. Haven't done anything with my topsy-turvy, but in the spring, that'll make a good video. I'm going to pull everything out of here, save what's savable, and replant this up, and it'll be amazing. It's going to look great. So I noticed a few days ago, this Euphorbia trigona, which had the really pretty black glass. I'm assuming one of the dogs knocked it over and all the top dressing fell off. So I need to get in there, and I'm pretty OCD when it comes to stuff like this. And I will pick every single piece of black glass and put it back in that pot. I left it sitting there because I just didn't feel like dealing with it yet. My 3 little hedgehog cactus out here are just doing great. These things are tough. They're right up against the house, but they're not getting a lot of sun. That opuntia is doing good. All these little stacking crassulas, they all flowered. So I'll need to cut those flowers off. These superbums are still superbing. I'd love to have a huge stand of those because they get really big. This is my silver fox. I love it. That thing is just amazing. Super hardy. So I've kind of gotten to where I really like the Dickeas and the Mangavis because they're tough. And they survive our cold and our heat. Down to only a couple. I had 3 of these little bowls up here with plants in them. There was one up there, and Dave took it and gave it to some guy's wife out at the gun club. She wanted a plant, and she loved it. So she can put it in her windowsill in the house and have a little plant to baby and look at. This Pringlei is looking good. And this stuff in here, everything is just kind of doing its thing. I'll probably lose this copper spoons again. It died down to nubs last year, and that's as big as it got, but now the cold is just killing it off. And look at that weed. It's gone. I'll post a picture of how big it was. I did take a picture. I had to get leather gloves to pull it out, but I finally got that taken care of. And what's over here? So this is a agave Kishokan. This is one of my favorite plants. Another one that's just super tough. And this one did really great last year. But I did buy another one when I was down in LA or San Diego, and it's in the back. These, I don't know what kind of aeonium that one is, but it's really pretty. It's not a sunburst, I don't think. It's a little bit different. Petalanthus macrocarpus is just hanging in there. It's not thriving, but it's surviving. My little Hesperaloe, I got this last year, is doing really good. This Cameronii is flowering. Where is the flower? Oh, here it is. I remember seeing them. So there's a flower stalk here and a little one down in here. I would imagine there'll be more eventually in here, but I'll probably trim some of these heads off in the spring. My other sea dragon had huge flower stalks, cut those off. But you see the aloe blue elf, they're just blooms. And then I see more blooms coming down in here. You see those? So this will be full of them. I still haven't done anything with this, the elephant bush. This is the Portulacaria. Is this the Minima? It's not the Afrovarigata. It's a different one. Anyway, but the aeonium's back here. Beautiful. Doing great. Happy as clams. Okay, what do we got back here? So this cactus is native to California, Southern California. It's a high desert. I have had this thing for so many years. I couldn't even tell you where I got it. But it's a clumping cactus. But mine is never clumped. It's just this one head. But it's really big. It's almost as big as a bowling ball. And it is super pokey. This is not one you want to trip and fall on. This Cameronii, this makes me smile. I love it when they're red. So if you, oh Pippi, did I disturb you, baby? They get, the wind is blowing towards them this way, so they're over here laying in the sun, the pigs, out of the wind, so they're happy. Yeah, I love these when they're red. That's just my favorite aloe. This aloe vera, they're all nice and green. I need to pull these apart and reset some of those and make them look nice. And probably just leave them right there. A couple little guys, got a little cholla there and another opuntia. Here's another millii. So this did really good this year, and it had flowers all over it, and I forgot to cover it, and it's really exposed over here. Look at the mud. Look at that. Ugh. So I'll need to cover it tonight because tonight's gonna be so far the coldest night we've had. I think it's supposed to get down to 31. But look at this dickia, isn't that beautiful? I forget which one that is. Ooh, there's a couple little bits of grass growing in there. I need to get that. I love this. Look at the color on the edges, how it's getting that red and yellow little thorns. This is a Mangave Tooth Fairy, and this is a really strong one. It's not a soft one like some of the Mangaves. It's a pokey one. My big barrel is doing really good. Oh, I noticed some grass growing out of the side. I missed that. Over here. Oh, and guess what? I did finally get rid of that rose under there. My Trichocereus, this is doing really good. Hopefully I'll get some flowers on it next year. This had a beautiful, beautiful red flower when I bought it. This little Opuntia, my Snow Fuzzy, looks great. A little bit stressed on the edge. Cat looks like he's about to rub on it. Don't do that. These do have glow kits on them. Little teeny tiny micro spines that will just drive you crazy for 3 days. Another little Starry Night aloe in there is doing good. So up here, excuse me, we've got Agave filifera and another, see this Cameronii, let me come around here. Whoa, it's hard to get back in here. So this Cameronii, look how red this one is. This one is pretty stressed over here. It gets full exposure. Hold on, let me get on this side, there we go. And you can see how pretty it is, and it's blooming. Yay, it's blooming. And I think, did I buy this one? Or was that a piece I cut off of mine? I think this was one I bought. I'm pretty sure I bought this down in Escondido when I was down there. Although one of the other cuttings that I have is blooming, so it was a cutting I took off of one of my big plants, so I don't know. This Sahara, you know, they look kind of horrible right now, but it did produce a lot of pups down under there. Another Agavoides, Echeveria agavoides, super tough plant. Look at this little tiny bloom down in there. How funny is that? It's too cold to be blooming. And here, Perii with its 3 little pups. I think this is kind of, we'll go upside down. Whoa! There's a third one under there. I think these kind of go dormant in the winter. So, but this little barrel's doing great. Oh, check out my rattlesnake's face. It looks like he's shedding his skin. He's got the little cover over his eye. I don't know if any of you have ever had a snake, or when they shed, their eye gets that opaque color, and that little piece over their eye sheds off too. It's kind of cool. This never did give me any new fronds this year. Fronds. I can't say that. I know how to spell it. I just can't say it. Fronds. Fronds. I don't know. It's a weird word. Didn't give me any more leaves. I really thought it was going to. I mean, it's healthy. It's doing good. But whatever. And then this guy's looking good. I planted this one in the summer after like the second or third time my dog knocked it over. So I finally put it in the ground. This is an Echinopsis. And it gets these huge, massive, beautiful pink blooms. Tons of them. It just goes crazy. And here's a Trichocereus that I got from Poots Nursery. And the top doesn't look great, but it's healthy. It's got 1, 2, 3 new arms growing on it. Yeah, and it bloomed. Pretty big white flowers. Another Mangave. This one is Pineapple Express. This is one of the softer ones. I still wouldn't poke it directly. I did have a Copper Spoons right there, and I pulled it out. I cut it and I pulled it out, and then I buried the little stump to kind of protect it, and we'll see if it comes back in the spring. I just cut the dead part off the top. Okay, my husband, this is a cigarette butt. He just thinks he's funny. I'm gonna smack him next time I see him. So my Nepalus, this is another Opuntia. It's kind of dormant, doesn't do much in the winter. I'm gonna prune off some of these big pads because it's getting too big. This little Dickia looks good. This is cute, little tiny silver one. And here, I don't want to trip over my giant metal praying mantis. Hey, Raider, stop it. Oh, he's going to get in trouble. He's chasing the cat. Luckily, the cat can jump over the fence and he can't. I don't want to fall. Okay, so this is my Mangavi Desert Dragon. And the top looks really good, so that's good. It's got some kind of dying stuff underneath, but that's okay. That's normal. In the front here, oh, this wind is chilly. Can you hear the wind blowing? Look at that. Is it still 44 degrees? Oh, it's 46. Okay. Oh, I missed a flower stalk. I need to cut that off. So these are doing really good. They're not getting any sun at all right now because the sun is so low, and that's as high as the sun gets. Where is it? Right there. It doesn't. There it is. It doesn't get any higher than that this time of year. You guys, why don't you go in the garage if you're cold? My old man of the Andes cactus looks really good. All that fuzz will protect it from the cold. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. Yeah, I could use a jacket on now once this wind comes up. We get this wind chill. Ooh, it's chilly. Chilly. My grandmother used to say, chilly today and hot tamale. She was funny. This thing, which grew down to the ground, check it out. Look at all the flowers it got on it. It's rooted itself down in there. So the bottom looks good now, but the top has kind of died off. So I think we've pretty much looked at everything, and that's my garden checkup for January. And got my weeds weeded, which was one of my big things. So both my begonias are gone. They're pretty much, well, I mean, you can see that one's still sticking up over here. There's a little in there. These things are kind of tough, but I need to pull everything out of here. And probably just leave it until spring, and then I'm going to plant some more flowers in that, because this palm tree sort of protects anything that's somewhat fragile from the sun. Look at this thing blowing. Dave pruned a bunch of branches off of it. But I didn't plant this palm tree here. It just grew up in the middle of a little tiny miniature rose plant. And I kept meaning to pull it out and just never got it done. And you know, now even if I do pull out all these boxwoods, which I want to do, maybe I'll do that in the spring and do this whole side, I'll have to put stuff in here that can handle the full sun and maybe a little bit of water from, well, I can adjust the sprinklers to keep them from really hitting over here, but I can do a lot of more rock and boulders with just maybe some plants that can handle more water. But that palm tree will fit right in, so I won't even have to remove it. It'll match the cactus and succulent theme we got going here. But yeah, everything's looking good. A few plants are not happy, but a lot of them really are. Yeah, see this Cameronia. Look at the stalks, the flower stalks on those. They haven't opened up yet, but they should soon. But check out my little tiger jaws. And those things, I planted just a little bitty one in there, and they really spread. Another super tough plant, doesn't mind the cold, and does really well in the full sun and the heat. Yeah, I got all those mushrooms out of there, and I'll post a picture. And once I started pulling them, I found so many more that I didn't even see until I was really looking. I'm like, holy cow, this is like a mushroom, I don't even know what you'd call it, a mushroom farm. But yeah, everything's looking good. There is not much new going on other than the weeds are all gone, and so I'm pretty happy about that. I've been meaning to get that done. Over here, I do bring this in and out every day. Bring it out when it's sunny. So Here's one copper spoons. I didn't want to lose that one. It's in my whale planter. This is a, put that in there, what do you call it? It's a Madagascar palm, they call them. I have a Lemerii, a Gayei. I got about 5 or 6 different the name escapes me. I'll post it on here so you'll know what it is. But it doesn't like the cold, and so it's dropping its leaves, but it's fine. And another Aluaudia procera. And you can see this one. Let me come around the other side. Don't mind my mess on here. I will have to chop a few of these ends off. They're not doing good on this little cactus here. Oh, this is another Christmas cactus. This was cuttings. No, this was the one that was given to me when we went to visit a nursery. Where were we? And it was one of the private ones. It was in her backyard. But she gave me this, and it's blooming. It's a few of the flowers have already fallen off. But you can see where this piece is trying to get little leaves coming back in. But they'll probably just fall off anyways because it's so cold. But yeah, everything's doing really good. You know what? Can I still read this tag? I don't know why I can't think of the name of this plant. It is a Pachypodium. Duh. Pachypodium. This one, I can't even read the name of this one. It's like a multi-trunk kind of one, and it was just really cool. But the ones that I have out in the greenhouse, it gets really warm in there during the day, but it does get cold at night. And so a couple of the more sensitive ones have dropped their leaves. But they do that every year, and they'll come back, so that's okay. And I've got some Millii in here, variegated. These died last year, so I got new ones, and I bring them in. This one could stay out. That's another little totem cactus. These are cool. They don't have any thorns on them. But I don't remember why I moved it. I don't know what's going to go on with this one. This is my Lactea. It's a ghost. It's a euphorbia. And it's just rotting. I don't know why I've protected it. It's barely getting watered. And I bring it in at night. My dragon fruit, they're doing good. I bring them in at night. And you can see I took everything off the top. But, oh, here, this is kind of cool. So this is one of the things, the woman who gave me all the dragon fruit, and you see I got this disease starting again. I need to cut off these pieces that are rotting. The main plant's doing good. But I need to spray some more copper, and that'll kill off this disease that it's getting. But these, look at all the new growth. So these are all rooted now. There's like 1 or 2, like this one over here. No, it still feels like it's rooted. That don't look great, but yeah, I'm really happy with how this plant's doing. So I should get some amazing flowers in the next couple of years off of this epiphyllum. And this is, I think she said it was 3 or 4 different varieties. So I'll get white, pink, and I believe red, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so nothing new over there. On the other side, everything looks the same over there. But yeah, this is kind of what's going on this time of year. It's cold, it's windy, it's usually wet, but everybody's hanging in there. So hopefully we won't get any freezing weather. I can handle the rain. I just don't want the 30-degree temperatures. Now, we're lucky because it might hit 30 degrees. And the other night it was forecasting, I think, 28 or 29. But it didn't get that cold. It only got down to about 34. But it doesn't hit that temperature until about 6 in the morning. 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, the sun comes up. By 8 o'clock, the temperature's 10 degrees warmer. So it doesn't stay. We don't have a hard frost. It doesn't stay cold. And the sun hits the cactus garden first. So they warm up quicker than, anything else around here. So that's good. So that is all for now. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And that will make me happy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.